Now, see, question is asked why elephant always give birth only to baby elephant. Why mango seed will make only mango plant, not any other plant. It means question is asked why like begets like means how come same type of is produced by same type only means why elephant can give birth to only baby elephant, why mango seed can produce only mango plant. So how come like begets like? Means they want to know ki how come offsprings are identical to their parents, but they show some differences. So answer is genetics. Now, what is genetics? Genetics deals with inheritance as well as variation. It deals with two things. So you can understand this way. Genetics is a branch of biology which deals with inheritance plus variation. Now, what is inheritance? Inheritance is the process by which character are passed from parents to progeny. And you can say it is a basis of heredity. It is the one which is basis of heredity. Now, what is variation? Variation is a degree by which progeny differ from their parents. Now, human knew from 800 to 1000 BC that one of the cause of variation, not cause of inheritance, cause of variation was sexual reproduction. And they have used these variations which was present in the wild population of plants and animals to do, and they have done the selective breeding and they select those organisms which they want the trait to be present and passed to the progeny. So you can say through artificial selection and domestication, they have done the development of cow that is Sahiwal cow in Punjab from ancestral wild cow. They have developed this breed, Sahiwal cow in Punjab. So that ancestors know the inheritance of characters and variations is there, but scientific basis of phenomena they didn't know. Now let us start with the Mendel law of inheritance. It was in mid-19th century. Please learn which century. That is 1856 to 63. Means he spent 7 years, again PMT question, and he has done the hybridization experiment on garden pea to study the concept of inheritance. Means how the characters are coming from parents to progeny. Now, what is the advantage? And actually, see one thing, he proposed the laws of inheritance. He didn't made any law, please. He just proposed the law of inheritance. What are the advantage? Now, main thing is this, it is the first time that statistical analysis and mathematical logic were applied to solve the problems in biology. So Mendel has taken the material in which he has applied math to solve it. Second, the experimental material what he has selected, that is garden pea, was having large sampling size. And large sampling size was giving greater credibility to the data what he has collected. And what he was doing, he was confirming his result, whatever result he's getting from experiment on successive generation of his plant to prove that his result come to a general rule of inheritance and are not only an idea. Then he has selected those characters which are appearing as two opposing trait, either tall or dwarf, or either yellow or either green seed, opposing, contrasting trait. This because of this he was getting an idea to the framework, and this allowed him to set a basic framework of rules which govern inheritance, which was later on you can say expanded by other scientists by observing in other plants and animals. Mendel has conducted artificial pollination, you can say cross pollination. He has conducted such artificial pollination or cross pollination by using several true breeding pea line. Now, what are true breeding line means? True breeding line means they are homozygous, which have undergone continuous self-pollination and they show stable trait inheritance and expression for several generations. So please learn what is a definition of true breeding. So true breeding is the one which is have undergone continuous self-pollination to show the stable trait inheritance and expression for several generations. Mendel has selected, please learn 14 true breeding pea varieties because he has selected 7 character, and for each character, the 2 opposing contrasting trait, the total 14 varieties he has selected. Now, if you see what are the varieties for character, he has selected plant height. First is always dominant, second is recessive. Tall is dominant, dwarf is recessive. For flower color, violet is dominant, white is recessive. Flower position, axial, dominant, terminal, recessive. Pod color, green and yellow. Seed color, opposite, yellow and green. Pod shape, inflated, constricted, and seed shape, round and wrinkled. The total 7 characters he has selected, and these are the character and these are the contrasting trait. Now, when he was studying the inheritance, he was working only on one character at a time. So Mendel, when he crossed tall plant with dwarf plant to study the inheritance only of one gene, then what he has done, let us assume what he did. Suppose this parent he is treating as a female and this parent he is treating as a male. So if he has to treat this parent as a female, then he has to remove the anther from the plant which is treating as a, matlab he want to treat this plant as a female, so he should remove anther from bisexual flower to make it unisexual, because pea plant was having both female part and it is, sorry, it is having both female part and it is having the male part. Okay, so it is bisexual and he has to convert it into unisexual. So we are doing emasculation, means removal of anther by bud condition. In the bud condition only we will remove the anther. And pollen is taken from the male plant and is transferred, the pollination is done. After pollination, seed are collected, and after sowing it, if he has taken purple flower with white flower, and what we are finding, F1 generation is all with purple flower. So he collected the seed produced as a result of this cross and has grown them. He was calling it as first hybrid generation, also known as flail progeny or F1. And he observed that all F1 progeny plants were tall. Like only one parent, no one was dwarf. And similar observation he found with other characters also. He found that F1 always resembled either one of the parent, and one trait of the other parent was not seen only. But when he did the self-pollination of the tall F1, to what his surprise came in F2 generation, few progeny dwarf came. Okay, few progeny dwarf came, which was not seen in the F1 generation. For example, let us come here, see, taken the tall and dwarf, F1 generation is what? Only tall. And when he did the selfing of F1 generation in F2 generation, what is finding? Few dwarf he is finding. So this is a diagrammatic representation of monohybrid cross. So the proportion of plant which were dwarf were only 1/4 of F2 plant, but 3/4 were still tall. The tall and dwarf trait were identical to the parent type and did not show any blending. No blending. Why we are focusing on this word? Because in the pre-Mendel era, people were saying characters are coming from both the parents. The child is having characters of both the parents, so characters are getting mixed. Characters are getting mixed. So before pre-Mendel era was blending concept was going on. And he's the one he's focusing on, saying no blending is there. Okay, fine. In F1 generation, you cannot see tall plant, but in F2 generation, you are able to see dwarf plant, and that is similar to the parent dwarf. Means either progeny are tall like parent or either progeny are dwarf. They are not in between height. So in F2 generation, what is the ratio of phenotype he got? He got 3:1 ratio. And the contrasting traits were not showing any blending either in F1 generation or in F2 generation. Based on this observation, what he proposed that something which is stable is coming from parents to progeny through gametes. What he proposed that something which is stable, it is passing down without any change from parents to progeny through the gametes. And what is that something? He called that something as factor. He called that something as factor. And now we call that something as genes. So what are genes? Genes are unit of inheritance. And what do they contain? They contain the information which is required to express a particular trait. And the genes which code for pair of contrasting character, that are known as alleles. The genes which code for a pair of contrasting trait, they are known as alleles. So what is the definition of allele? Allele, you can say they are alternate form of a same gene. Alternate form of a same gene. Now, how to express it in terms of a gene language? So we are using alphabet symbol for each gene. Capital we will later use which the trait which is expressed in F1 generation. For example, if you see height, tall height, we are using capital T for tall height and we will use a small t for dwarf. It means they both are alleles of each other. So either condition can be this for tallness, and the next condition will be for dwarfness. So Mendel also proposed that in true breeding, the allele pair are identical, means they are homozygotes. In true breeding, allele pair are identical. And this term, capital TT or small tt, this is known as genotype of a plant. And when you're describing using the descriptive terms like tall and dwarf, that is a phenotype. So what will be the phenotype of plant which will have this? Phenotype of plant will be tall. Mendel found the phenotype of F1 heterozygous exactly like a tall plant. So this is genotype is heterozygous. Okay, this genotype is homozygous, but phenotype is same. Even for this genotype, it is same. So he proposed that in a pair of dissimilar factor, one dominates the other. And he used the word dominant factor. In this case, capital T is dominant over small t. And he observed identical behavior for all other characters what he has studied. So they are telling, please use capital T for tallness and don't use D for dwarf. Okay, so don't use D for dwarf. They are saying do not use. If you use T for tallness, then you have to use small t for dwarf. Now, if allele pair are same, you will say homozygous. And what will the condition if allele pair are dissimilar? You will use word heterozygous. Either this condition or this condition. Allele pair are same, you will use word homozygous. So if allele pair for height, for example, you will say homozygous. And in case of heterozygous condition is this. So allele pair can be similar in homozygous, they can be dissimilar in case of heterozygous. So in this case, we are using only one character at a time to study and we have prepared a cross by using one character. So we say this is monohybrid cross. So from the observation that the recessive parent trait is expressed without any blending in F2, we can conclude that when the tall and dwarf plant produce gametes, by the process of meiosis, the allele of parental pair separate from each other and only one allele is transmitted. This segregation is nearly 50% chance. It's every time 50% chance is there. Now, during fertilization, the two allele, let us assume capital T from one parent and small t from another parents, they are united to form zygote. So in other words, you can say hybrids will have this condition. Now these hybrids, they are having two different allele. So we call this hybrid as heterozygous. And when they are making gametes, so again, you can see, you can study by making a Punnett square, and Punnett square is not developed by Mendel. It was developed by Reginald C. Punnett, who was a British genetics person. And what is Punnett square? Punnett square is actually a graphical representation to calculate probability of all possible genotype in a genetic cross. For example, let us assume one case here. This is tall, is crossed with dwarf. So allele pair separate, so it will make only one type of gamete and it will also make only one type of gamete. F1 generation is this. This is F1 generation. And this is pure parent and this was gamete. Now let us do F1 generation selfing. I'm writing it here. This is F1 which is going for selfing. So it will make gametes, male gamete and female gamete. You see here, make the box this way, Punnett box. Make it here. Write the male gamete, separation of allele. Here female gamete. And do this work. Homozygous capital T, heterozygous tall, heterozygous tall, and homozygous dwarf. So when you will do this work, you will find when fertilization takes place, the pollen grain of this capital T genotype, it has 50% chance to pollinate egg with the capital T. So you are getting, check this diagram. This is, let us assume, male gamete, and this side is female gamete. So probability of this homozygous tall, heterozygous tall, and homozygous dwarf. The phenotype ratio, you are finding 3 tall and 1 dwarf, and genotype ratio, you are finding 1 homozygous tall, 2 heterozygous tall, and 1 homozygous dwarf. So from the Punnett square, it is easily seen that 1/4 of the random fertilization will lead to this. Half will lead to this, capital T, small t, and 1/4 will lead to small. Though the F1 has a genotype heterozygous, but the phenotype character seen is tall. At F2 generation, 3/4 are tall, and in that tall, few are this tall and remaining are heterozygous tall. Externally, it is not possible to distinguish what is a genotype. You cannot tell it's a homozygous tall or it's a heterozygous tall. So within the genotype pair, this heterozygous T, only one character is expressed. So this is said to be, capital T is said to be dominant over the small t, means for dwarf character. So it is due to this dominance of one character over the other, all F1 are tall. And in the F2 generation, 3/4 of the plants are tall. This lead to the phenotype ratio of 3/4 tall as 1/4 homozygous tall, half heterozygous tall, and 1/4 homozygous dwarf, means 3:1 ratio. But phenotype is 3:1. Phenotype is 3:1 ratio, but genotype ratio is 1:1. So please learn properly the 1/4 and half and 1/4 ratio is actually mathematically condensable to form the form of a binomial expression that has the gamete bearing gene in equal frequency of half. So up till here, just read. If you have any doubt, then please ask.